Hello, Duelyst crowd. Getting started. We will continue ES4 coverage of just the winner's bracket. I would love to do the loser's bracket too, but there's so many games with all the entrants. I would have to pick and choose. So we're just going to continue where we left off the other day with the winner's brackets. Yesterday we covered most of round one. We still have one final segment of round one to go. Where did I get up to? Yeah, I see where I'm up to. We're just on the last bracket for round one of the winners, and then round two will be ideally half as long because, you know, half the people are eliminated or at least sent to losers, and then round three will be half as long as that. So that's what we're covering, I believe, because Calvin will be covering the top 16 performances. So I would do more, but we'll leave it up to Calvin later on the coming weekend. Hey, what's up? Try again. Welcome on in. But yeah. I'm just waking up for the day, so I might be a little groggy till I get going. Had some toast. I have some drinks here. I have lots of time, and we have lots of games to record. So we are moving into bracket 21, or game 21. This is Oats versus Cloak and Dagger. Let's see if I have them as friends, so we can watch their stuff. I do not have Oats. I do not have Cloak and Dagger. See, we already get off to a fast start. So I don't see them on my friends list. We will not watch game 21. Oats lost game 21. Cloak and Dagger won, and 2-1 in that matchup. So we're going to move on to game 22. Let's see if we have... Yes, we do. We will have some game 22 action. We have 0_OU and Parshendi. Now, it's been a day, so if people played a lot, it might take me a moment to find their games. I found this game, though. I would have streamed yesterday evening, but I really wanted to sleep. So I slept my day away, and now we're here today, hopefully feeling better. Over yesterday, I'll just leave it at that. Where is the... Okay, I do not have Parshendi, so we will watch this from Zero's perspective only. We'll not need to worry about dual hand. We have Abyssian versus Songhai. Looks like a creep Abyssian, as there's a night guy in hand. Let me get this game started, and then I will look up deck lists to make sure if they're still posted. Which I don't see why they wouldn't be. Okay, excuse me. I might clear my throat a lot. I've got morning phlegm. Oh, excuse me, morning phlegm. I think spring allergies are attacking me as part of my problem. Okay, 0_OU. You know, I searched him and I see his stuff coming up for ES3 and the Chromatic Cold games. I do not see his ES4 deck. So, that's okay. We have an aggressive... Let me see if I can find Parshendi. Parshendi. I have an aggressive opener from Parshendi here. It looks like we have a more minion-sided Songhai. They have the Flame Bloods. Is this the ES4? Yes, it is. Okay. It is more of a minion high. They have Helm of Mechazor, curiously enough, but not the rest of the Mechazor pieces, so... Just Helm of Mechazor as a 1-drop, that's a 3-1 attack power unit, I imagine. They have things like Widowmaker, Riftwalker, Flame Wreath, and Deja Vu Engineer, all as 3-Os. Parshendi is also continuing to make use of the recently nerfed Saber Spine Seal, and 3 Phoenix Fires, as well as 3 Inner Focuses. That's all the spells in their deck. They only have those 3 spells. So very minion focus list. Zero has a creep list. I'm seeing Alcuin, Lore Master. So that is a bit more unique. Can I get Zero's ES4 list? Why is it not coming up on this search? I see him mentioned in the match results for ES4, but not the deck results of ES4. Were these put in order? That would be useful. Ah, I found his list. I don't know why it doesn't come up in the search. But anyway. Excuse me. Zero has... It looks like a classic spin on the creep list. He does have 2 Grasp of Agonies, which not everybody was running. So that is a noticeable uniqueness to their list. They also have a 1-of Emerald Rejuvenator. A little bit of extra healing. Not enough faith into Night Splitter alone to do the job, especially in the perceived Songhai meta. Might not be a terrible idea to have your GVs at the ready. For this turn, the obvious thought is take 5 mana, creep up Tutspore. Where do you put the rest of the Shadow Nova? I think it can be good to put it on the bottom there. It makes taking that mana tile... I mean, Songhai has enough movement tech, so they're not worried about it, but if he walks into it... If Parshendi walks into it to ramp, their next turn is going to be a little awkward, as they can only move left or right without taking the 3 damage tax. Playing some minions first, only walking down 1 tile, so deciding they don't need it right now. They pretty much will likely have it. Creep Abyssian doesn't have a tremendous amount of minions. And there are 2 threats on the board to be answered. Void Pulse. A great answer for playing Blood Warlocks. So you only took 1 damage from it being played. Your opponent took 3. That's a pretty good exchange. So opting to Shroud here. Now, Zero does have access to Parshendi's list, and I think if you were to look at Parshendi's list, a Dark Transform here would have been value. His Lantern Fox is the... Lantern Fox and Deja Vu Engineer are the highest HP minions at 4 health. You may as well DT the Lantern Fox. I think I would have DT'd. I don't know if developing Crawler on this turn is really that tremendously important, but this works too. This works as well. Interesting that Crawler is put in range of Lantern Fox if Parshendi wanted to throw the Lantern Fox away by having it on creep. I do see the Deja Vu Engineer come out. That's a pretty big deal. That's a pretty big deal. So one of them down, you would think he wants to be held for Tusksport exclusively due to the tremendous amount of burst potential that produces. But instead, he's used to revive Fox, and I like it in this situation. There's a surprising amount of pressure on Zero to deal with the situation. And 5 HP Lantern Fox is probably generating 2 Phoenix Fires if you don't have some sort of hard removal. And 4 HP Deja Vu does not get cleanly removed without demonic lore. Zero does have the tools to answer everything except for the Rhythm Weaver on the bottom, and I think that is what we will see. I imagine the crawler will sacrifice itself into the Flame Blood just to save HP. There is a Night Splitter in Zero's hand though, and it's 7 mana. You could go to 9. Spiral doesn't kill you yet. Yeah, we don't see that happen. That would be a little scary, right? Going to 9 now would be very scary, but you could have risked it to preserve the crawler and try and set up crawler could have moved down and left, and you could have moved left one. So on the next turn you heal for 12 HP by standing left of where Rhythm Weaver is. Parshendi not out of aggression though. Flame Wraith comes down, clears the board, trades in the damage instead of leaving it at 3 HP. Also a Widowmaker being developed. I think... yeah, this is a Night Splitter turn. Zero did move. Wasn't sure if he played that first or second, so we have the full board sweep and the 6 HP heal. Worst case scenario for Parshendi. Nothing they can do about that Sphere of Darkness covering the entire battlefield. Wait, Widowmaker? That's right, Widowmaker officially gains a +1 to its usage stats in tournament, in the competitive tournament scene. Still not doing as good as Venom Toth, who's at +2. Interestingly enough. Alright, Parshendi opting to clear, bringing Zero back to 12 HP. Zero can heal to 20, right? +9, 21 if they want to. They can also just throw a Revenant out. And this Revenant is going to be a big problem for Parshendi to answer. At 4 HP, Parshendi doesn't have anything that cleanly answers this in their Songhai list. They would have to take the 4 damage. Or 6 damage from trading with their face, and they do not have a Spiral Technique. So at 12 HP, Zero is actually very safe, except from Extreme, Inner Focus, Deja Vu, Tuskboar, Burst with the Saber Spine Seal to top it all off. He would have to have those cards, and he would have had to have moved left to make it reach. Alright, Riftwalker helps here. Do we have 2 more damage for the Revenant? Targeting Riftwalker, possible Inner Focus in hand. This is the better idea. You can draw a card with Widowmaker. And you don't take 4 damage. Did he just go face? Is Parshendi going to eat 6? Okay, doesn't take the 6 damage, is calling Zero out on having it or not, and Zero does have it. So game 1 will go to Zero. That was a bold decision. I think, considering their resources, they did what they had to do to win, so I do not blame them for that decision. They could have cleared the Revenant, though, and just played out an extra turn. I don't think on 8 mana Abyss was going to kill you. They would need 9 to Sphere Revenant, which is about their damage cap, unless you're standing on spikes for Night Splitter play. Okay, let me get this transition going. I'll load up game 2, see if anybody changes here. I do not see any changes. Hey there, fellow wanderer. Welcome on in, everybody. Someone needs to bring Sojourner. We'll keep our eyes peeled for it. I would like to, it would be a lot of work, so I'm not gonna do it myself, but I'd be curious to see a spreadsheet of card usage. Basically, list all the cards out and then give them a +1 if it featured in one of the 2 decks people brought, and just see what the spread is like. But I don't get paid for it. I'm not gonna spend the time making that. I'd be interested in seeing it though. Yo, what's up, Zero? We're watching you right now. The man of the hour against Parshendi, the other man of the hour. Or woman. I don't know Parshendi. Alright. You got bounded from Sojo Lethal today? You are happy. Excellent. Sojourner Digijustice. The bot is active, yes. Feel free to play to your heart's content. I do not mind. That is what it is there for. Alright, so Parshendi does not swap off of their Songhai list. They're sticking with their minion-focused Songhai. And we see an inner focus turn 1, denying the mana tile. And playing a Helm of Mechazor in the center so that it can ramp up on the next turn. Parshendi is in top deck mode. They do not have a lot of card draw in their list. I think they're reliant on Lantern Fox and the ranged guy, Widowmaker, ranged girl. The Rhythm Weaver too, I suppose. So they have some drawing tools. Zero can clear this board rather effortlessly though, and is happy to do so. Ghost Lynx is going to keep his hand juiced up to 4. This man needs to play spell high, not minion high. Their choice has been made. They are a minion high with very interesting choices as well. Alright, if you dump your hand and you need to gas up, double Rhythm Weaver is a way to gas up. No Dispel in Zero's list, so I imagine they'll both die. Parshendi will go up to 4 cards. Zero could New Moon Hex and just Ghost Lynx to have a slow turn. Although I don't think he can do like Ghost Lynx Rejuve on this turn due to the positioning. Opts to replace the New Moon Hex. So looking for more means to immediately deal with the minion focus of this list. Rather than setting up his creep and doing some chip damage, we're probably seeing, yeah, just Rejuvenator. I think it's a good idea. You miss out on 1 heal, so it's not, you know, it's not healing you all the way. But just having the creature on board, you know your opponent is running a creature-based list. And that 4 HP threshold in this particular matchup is actually difficult for Parshendi to deal with. They don't have a clean means of removing 4 health in their list. They're very good at killing 3 HP things, though. And we see Flame Wreath here, so that chips away for 1. Saber Spine Seal, hopefully going face. Not going face, so Zero is totally fine with this. That is a really good trade for Zero. Nerfed Saber Spine Seal being used to preserve some HP. I feel like if you're going to make that play, at least Saber Spine your general and just take the 4. And probably don't hit face with your thing, but you're dealing with creep. I feel like with Creep Abyssian running around, unless you're out of hand comboing Flame Wreath, his stocks kind of went down a little bit. And 3 HP is easy to deal with for a creep. I doubt we see the on-curve naked Night Splitter for the 5-5 stat line. Honestly, it would be a pretty strong play. Just against Parshendi's list. He wouldn't have an answer for a 5-5 without going out of his way. This makes more sense though. Am I winning? I'm not playing. You have to ask Zero that question. Alcuin reclaim a sphere of darkness. Parshendi on the creature removal plan. Alright, double tough spore action. We're bringing on the pressure. This ties the game up. Now we are 18 to 18. And a Phoenix Fire tacked on. So 9 damage. That's a non-insignificant amount of damage. Sphere will help clear one of these things. There is the Grasp of Agony in hand, so both boars will be answered. Zero just needs to hold on for one more turn and take the tile to the left. Yeah, you want to hold that so you heal for 6. Set up your crawler in range to heal for 9 next turn. Yep. Yep. Prepare your cross of safety. Night Splitter is in hand and is ready to save you, daddy. Even a Sphere of Darkness to get the full heal next turn if needed. The game's already done. Yeah, the tournament has ended, Fuchsia. I don't know if you're aware. So we are just reliving history here because I wanted to capture it, get it uploaded, preserve some game footage. I thought people would be interested to see what others brought to the tournament and whatnot. This is probably the most interesting patch that Duelyst 2 has had, thanks to the new cards added. Parshendi opted to do a little bit of face damage. I think I would just Night Splitter anyway to heal the full. Yeah, there's no reason not to, and this will pretty much secure your victory. I don't think Parshendi's deck has the long-term power, so if you're healing for 12, you're gonna outpace Parshendi's list. They really need to kill you before this Night Splitter play happens. But they will struggle on. This is tournament setting. You love to see it. Night Splitter will be answered at the expenditure of a Phoenix Fire resource. And is that the third Tusky? That is the third Tusky. 12 heal, 6 damage, very normal. 12 healing, 6 damage for 7 mana. It's not bad. Pretty good, right? It's pretty good. The brutal Revenant turn. Parshendi's going down to 4. Zero's hiding in this spike chamber. Not really hiding, but positioning into his safety net. And he draws Night Splitter number 2 on cue. This is gonna be so brutal. This is a full heal. Good morning, 26 lands. How are you doing? I do like the clear. Parshendi is still alive. They only have 1 card. They replace it and then summon the Helmamechazor. Unfortunately, they put it in range of a Night Splitter. Zero doesn't have to cast a Night Splitter though. They could dominate if they want to, you know, be cheeky, but just a Revenant will solve this problem. Yeah, Parshendi will be taken out of the winner's side of things, and in a 2-0, congratulations to Zero for moving on there. Alright, the next game, bracket 23, we have Solo, Bruiser, and Surebird. I don't think I have Surebird as a friend. Do I have Solo Bruiser? I do. So we can watch the game. And once we hit round 2, we'll be able to see both player hands again. The round 1 is a lot of people I don't have as a friend. Alright, Surebird versus Solo Bruiser. We have a Songhai v Lionar. So I will let this run. Let's see if I can find their deck lists, and I will try to provide some insights. Surebird I am not used to or familiar with, so they are a newer player to the tournament scene, I think. They are running a Helionar list, so they should have a fairly decent matchup. They have some unique inserts here. Could be a bit budgety. They only have 1 Circle of Life. They have 2 Holy Emos. And then 3 Ether Masters, 1 Dancing Blade being featured in this list. It's kind of like a budget Helionar. They have a lot of their important tools, though. Solo Bruiser, on the other hand, off to a phenomenal start with the Tuskboar Kaido, by the way. Surebird happily healing up. So, not too bad for them. Bruiser, I imagine, is on a classic Songhai list. Yes, this is a Spell High list. They do have triple Sensu Fan, or whatever it's called, and triple Blood Rage Mask. They're on they're on a bit tighter of a early game curve. They only have 9 2-drops, lacking the ghost links you see in a lot of the other Spell High lists. Total Eclipse title is in shop, yes. Alright, Alsuin copied a Sundrop Elixir. Probably a good idea, considering your matchup is against the most aggressive deck in the entire game currently. The Spell High. Gonna need some orange juice to shrug off their brutal ping damage. Solo Bruiser, you could set up a Senju Fan here and draw an extra card at the end of the turn. It's a very face-heavy play. Even sending in the 4 Winds Magus. That's a lot of damage. So, all things considered, if you drink your orange juice for your 1-man attacks, you only took 3 damage from the 4 Winds. Technically 4 because he pinged you for 1. That's a nice Circle of Life. That is a 1-of. That is a 1-of Circle of Life. And opting to preserve HP, sacrificing the Ether Master. Solo Bruiser could draw an extra card on this turn if they want to. They would have to do Lantern Fox or Thief of Moments, Killing Edge, but they could do that for the 1+1 draw. They could be punished for a preemptive Killing Edge, though. They end at 5 cards regardless, so maybe they would have wanted to hold KE, but we do see it played. We're getting the card draw with the +1 shimmering. Oh, you're right. They could have played Thief of Moments, attacked, and then blinked. That would have worked too. That would have worked too. 6 HP Lantern Fox. If it gets martyrdomed, you're healed back to 25, and you're still probably in a stronger position than your opponent at the moment. Nice Rust Crawler. Nice Sundrop Elixir. We knew they had the Sundrop in hand. Alright, Surebird trying to hang in. Not afraid to be aggressive while standing next to a Lantern Fox, though. That is pre-buffed. If Solo wants to, they could Mana Vortex. They could Chakra Mana Vortex Heavens and possibly hit Jux and Inner Focus and kill Sherbird here. They could go for the high roll. They put Chakri in a pretty curious position, though. I would have put it above the enemy general's head, or to the right of the enemy general, and then you can choose to hit face or hit Silverguard, depending on what you end up getting off of Heavens. And they do get Inner Focus and Jux. I think that would have been lethal. I think they missed lethal because of the positioning on the Chakri, right? Still a lot of damage, though. Still a lot of damage, still board clear. It might not have been lethal. I don't know if the general could have hit. Because that was, it would have been 14 if the general could hit. I don't know if you could have finagled that. How does Sherbird respawn? We see a Martyrdom. This could be the only one in their hand currently, so you gotta pick your threat carefully. Chakri is probably the correct choice. Whoa. Okay, third sun drop elixir. They have one more because they copied one. I like the armor. I don't know if I would have stayed in range of the Lantern Fox. Granted, we see two Juxtas in the hand, so Solo Bruiser, it didn't matter if they didn't punch Bruiser there. He has the resources to spend. I think this is probably death. Going Thief of Moments with Blood Rage Mask is a good way to do it. You get 2 extra spell casts, thanks to the blinks. So you get more damage than if you had played just the 4 winds. And 4 more with the Phoenix Fire. And that goes to show you, I think I've heard it, healing not necessarily good enough against Songhai. Sherbird recovered 20 HP in that game. Songhai dealt 45 damage before they could do 25. It's a brutal world out there. Let's get on the game 2, see if anybody does a change up. I would expect not, because you would think your healing Lyo might be your best bet. I don't know what Sherbird's other deck is. I'd have to look at their list. Okay. Let's play. I will take a quick look here at Sherbird. Now their other list is Creep Abyssian. So they're also on the Creep Abyssian plan. Kind of an aggro Creep Abyssian. I won't talk about their deck since we haven't seen it yet. But they have 3 dark seeds in their hand, or in their deck. Anyway, on to this match. Kaido opener for Solo Bruisers, pretty good. Turn 1 pass for Sherbird is a little unfortunate. They have 12, technically 15 turn 1 plays, so that's a pretty low roll. Unless they're holding back on purpose, because they have 3 crawlers, 3 Alcuins. You might not want to play them turn 1 as player 2, but they do have 15 3 or less things, not including spells, which they could have casted. This is going to be a pretty disgusting turn, I think. Unless Solo just sets up. He's being reserved. Just setting up threats. Next turn is going to be even more disgusting. So if you're Sherbird and if you have Martyrdom, you want to hit that Thief of Moments, guaranteed. I think Sherbird has made a fairly critical error here. They've exposed their back to the Kaido Assassin just to deny the mana tile. Now, denying the mana tile is a good idea. But Songhai can punish this very hard. Now, Solo Bruiser's hand, he doesn't have a killing edge at the moment, so it won't be as devastating as it could be. We're still looking at 12, 15, 17 if he went all in, 20. No, 17 if he goes all in on damage. Deciding to just set up the 4 wins. We're going to see a lot of blink procs here. Probably a full board clear. This is a stronger play. So while I was calculating damage all in, obviously you don't want to necessarily do that. And with a double blink, you can get this other Kaido in the backstab range. Sherbird is exposed and being backstabbed. Look at the play history. On the left, we have almost 6 blinks casted on turn 3. Disgusting. The power of the Thief of the Moments, baby. He seizes the moment. And I like to be optimistic, but I think this is over already. There's not going to be enough recovery or clear to deal with everything on the board. Yeah, because Sherbird could have, what, healed for 5, had a Martyrdom for the 4 wins at best, and then the Tempest was a nice Tempest. Tempest helped a lot there. Maybe they did a pretty okay turn. They're half dead. We see 4 wins being highlighted. No replace. I would consider sending away the Mana Vortex, maybe. I don't think you really need it. Well, how much do we have? We have 2, 4, 6, 10, 13. We're 1 off lethal. You could just put him down to 1 HP and not give a fuck. Yeah, you hit with 4 wins. And then you have 3 cards at the end of the turn to finish your opponent. Oh, we're only at 5 mana, my mistake. Can't quite play the board yet. They still decide to go pretty much all in. Hoping they'll draw the rest of the damage they need. Sherbird's gonna need to heal. Arclight Regalia is not exactly what you're looking for. It'll help you against the general hit, but it won't stop the 4 Winds Magus from pinging you. And the Tempest that's unfortunate. No spells except for the blink, and the blink is all you need. The Thief of Moments will be lethal. You simply have to hit face. Solo Bruiser steamrolling over a Helionar. Killing them at the 6 mana point. 4 turns. Oh, I can feel Sherbird's pain. That was rough. They might have been able to balance out, but they needed a stronger turn on that 4th turn. They needed to do, or their 3rd turn, they needed something better than Arclight Tempest. Well played the Solo Bruiser. That was a brutal showing. Let me hide the game list here. Ether Master ain't it, Chief? Maybe digging for cards. I mean, I don't know if I would single out Ether Master there. The positioning on turn 2 was debatably not ideal. You were asking to get destroyed a little bit. Alright, we have Zabiul, which I do not have Zabiul unless I spelt that wrong. Zabiul, no. I don't think we have either of the next two people. We do not. So, bracket number 24, Zabiul versus Zaban, or Zbane. Zabiul wins 2-0 to move on, so maybe we'll see them later. Bracket number 25, we have Jack Juss. Do I have Jack Juss? Hey, what's up, Hemp Mine? I do not have Jack Juss as a friend. Do we have his opponent, Blady, as a buddy? Nobody is my buddy. Remember, if you want your games to be casted, Harpu can be a good friend to have. You can also see when I'm online to avoid me, as I have been told I can be fearsome to face on ladder. I don't know why. I think I suck personally, but I have been told that I've been avoided by some people before. Alright, we do not have those two, so Blady takes it over Jack Just 2-0. Congratulations to Blady. Maybe we will see him later. Actually, we won't see him later because he's playing Zabiul in the bracket, so I don't have either of them. Next game, Basilikovikai, which I'm still not sure how to pronounce their name exactly. I haven't heard anyone say it yet. We do have Basilikovikai, so he is playing Good or Good, which I'm not familiar with Good. Let me see if I have Good in my friends list here. I do not, so we will just watch this from Basilico's point of view. Which I will probably just shorten it to Basilico. Alright. And Basilico is on Lionar. We see an Ironcliff Guardian, I think the second Ironcliff for the tournament so far. I will look up their list to try and provide some insights here. So Goodha is on Mech Abyssian. We have a Mechazor Abyssian list. This is the second Mechazor player in the tournament. Kolos is the first, I think. Did someone else have Mech? Yeah, I think Kolos was the first one to bring a mech list. Anyway, we have Mech Abyss for Basilikovikai. I can't believe I spelled that right. We have Yi 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 is the name of their list. They are a... No, that's the wrong list. Oh, that's round 2. Game 1. There we go. Okay. They're an interesting... I would call it a unique build. They have stuff like Komodo Scavenger, we have some Dynasty standards, and then you have like an Alcuin Lore Master, Isby's Monument. You do have Sunriser, but you're not exactly a healing list per se. 2 Archon Spellbinders, 2 Zuriel, the Life Givers. So it's a very original homebrew that Basilico is playing. Oh, you hate to see it happen. If you're able to see your opponent's list, you would have known they have Sunbloom, and probably not the best to keep your Mechazord pieces together. That's going to deny any Mechazord progress for good, which is a huge deal. Because their win con is strictly to get a Mechazord online as soon as possible. They have a lot of board presence though. attacking with Ghost Links, holding back with the wings of Mechazor. The Basilica has quite a few things to consider here. They probably want to deal with at least the Helm of Mechazor and then occupy the top right area of the map. I imagine we're going to ignore the 5-4 for the time being. Could burn a Dispel here if you want to. Gouda, if you're looking at their list, they have Shadow Dancers. Other than the Shadow Dancers and I guess Sarlacc, but they don't have a ton of Sarlacc synergy. Just one another summoning. You probably just want to make sure Mechazor doesn't get online, I think. We do see the Dispel go down. I don't think I've ever... Oh. Yeah, I was about to say, why is it gray? I don't think I've ever seen a gray Shroud skin. That was a weird color bug there. And we got some backline threats being developed. New Moon Hex established, moving in the one attack minions. I might have kept the one attack minions back a bit. Your Ghost Links is just gonna... I mean, he'll get a ping off, but the Shroud trades favorably here. Likely... I'm gonna guess we see the Circle of Life hit the ranged Mechazor. What do you cannon the Mechazor? Can't really do a whole lot about the 5-4 still. He's just, yeah, he's gonna hit you for 5 probably. Nothing you can do about it. You don't want to get bogged down with the cannon and Mechazor pressure, so I think getting rid of that is the priority. Basilico agrees as they execute that move. Alright, moving his general up top to preserve HP and keeping Mystic out of range of the chassis of Mechazor. We have another wings coming down. Progress is only at 20% so far. We're gonna need to see more robots here. Sarlacc the Eternal and another robot. Although it's played strangely next to Lilith instead of in an aggressive position, like maybe bottom left of the chassis of Mechazor or something. Now he's going to be out of combat for a little while. I'm surprised the Sarlacc is where it is too. But I do like the spread. You've seen Sunbloom once, so you know what? This makes more sense. We're playing around Mass Dispel. I respect it. I respect it. They know they don't want to lose a ton more progress. You have 60% on board. I'm guessing... No, I'm not sure what we will see here, actually. There's a couple things that could be done. There is a Martyr going down on the Helm of Mechazor. But that's a 0 HP heal. So Sunriser will not proc. Basilico is going to have to punch with their face. And interestingly enough, they chose to walk onto Shadow Creep, so Good's gonna like to see that. They'll get an extra 3 damage in. Just to stay out of range of the Sarlacc, which could be fine exchange. I'm not sure. You want to avoid the Sarlacc getting any value. Okay. So, Wings of Mechazor did not need to hit there. Demonic Lure would have dealt the damage required to clear Sunriser. So, on the flip side, that's a little helpful to Basilico Vikai. We see Dynasty Standard is replaced. We do not have an answer for Shadow Dancer unless you Alcuin Demonic Lure and then punch it in the face with your general. It's going to hurt, but it is an option. And you can do that and summon Isbies at the same time if you want to try and offset some of the damage you're receiving. You could ignore it, I suppose. Opting to maintain control of the Mechazor. I do respect it. We're at 60%. And getting close to finishing Mechazor. I think we've seen 4 pieces dispelled so far. We haven't seen any sacrifice stuff. Does Good have killing things? They don't have like Soul Reaver in their deck, or well, I guess they do have Consuming Rebirth, funnily enough, even though it doesn't do what it used to do. But they are rocking triple Consuming Rebirth. Yeah, I hand it to them for not drawing additional cards. They're finding all their mech pieces. We got 2 more mechs out and about. Alright, just develop some mechs past the turn. Basilico can clear Shadow Dancer now without using their face. I don't think Zuiel, big body. You don't really have anything to bring back for the turn, though. Good only has 1 Dark Transformation, and they haven't used it yet. But besides that 1 Dark Transformation, they don't exactly have an answer for anything huge. Could be a good idea to play the Ironcliff Guardian. Alright, we have an aggressive Sunriser play. I think this works too. It's a good idea. If you wanted to, you could punch something like Sarlacc with your Shroud to proc a death trigger. You'll take 1 damage. There's no real reason to do that, though. The only reason to do that would have been the heal afterwards, and then you kill the Sword of Mechazor without sacrificing Komodo Charger. That would have been the only reason to do it. Alright, there's an Isbies on the field. Never mind me. Then the only reason to do it would be to deal 1 extra damage to the enemy general. Because you'd have an extra heal proc. Immediate Ritual Banishing out of the way. Alcuin gets cut down. Sarlacc gets free damage in. Can't see what's in Good's hand. Nether Summoning turn. This is the 1-up, so this is the only one they're gonna get. This is a pretty good one. And Mechazor is built. So Basilico can airdrop a Lightbender. Mechazor can be stymied. So they're not dead yet. Maybe replace the Circle of Life. You could keep your whole hand. You could do the Ironcliff Lightbender now, play defensive, and then maybe a good Zuiel appears on the next turn. Well, good is you know, debatable. So they wanted to keep the Lightbender away from Lilith hitting and away from Sunriser attacking. This is why they didn't dispel the Wings of Mechazor too. I do think that's the correct decision. They've gone through a ton of mech pieces already. I don't think they're... Yeah, they're at 0%. They're not likely to make another Mechazor. You've already trashed half of the Mechazor deck. Alright, good doing some cleanup work on said Ironcliff. And another New Moon Hex being casted. Going for the Isbees instead. Very reserved play. Okay, so you can sack your Lightbender and you get... It's not like the best Zurael in the universe, but again, his likelihood of sticking is pretty high. That ritual banishing we saw earlier is a one-of. The demonic lore we saw earlier is a one-of. The dark transformation that we haven't seen yet is a one-of. That's the only answer they have for Zurael is a dark transform right now. Circle of Life going down to remove Shadow Dancer makes a lot of sense though. This just means Basilica is gonna need to wait for something better. Zurael pulls. Okay, look at their list again. What else do they have in their deck? Discord doesn't want to run the search. Alright, well, while it thinks about that, let me get back to the game here. Oh no, is that the DT? There's the DT on an Isbees. Alright, so Good's plan is just to completely shut down anything and everything Basilico has going on. They can stay back and just chip away, I suppose. Does Basilico have Deja Vu? Or not Basilico, Good. For some reason my Discord search is not loading lists now. Interesting. I liked you more when you worked, Discord. I liked you more when you worked. I guess I'm gonna quit it and attempt to reload it. You know, if it's going down, it's not a good sign for the rest of my internet at the moment. Oh, we're connecting the chat too? What? Am I out of internet or is everything... Why is everything breaking lately? I swear this new router is problematic. I'm gonna let this play in case it's still recording. I see we're dropping frames. Why is the router like this? It's just having problems. Yada 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 yada. Alright, sorry for not commentating on what's happening here because my this new router is really killing me. I'm trying to make sure we're coming back somehow. We're very low on the frameage. I'm going to need to yell at Comcast and ask for a further replacement because this thing is definitely unreliable. They said they were upgrading me. They said they were upgrading the house with a new router. It was sabotage the entire time. It was just sabotage. I'm surprised this game is running still though. I'm very confused because you would think this would stop working as well if the internet is dying. I mean, I'm being told I have internet access. I think we're just losing... The connection is being really killed here. For whatever reason. Can I load up a web page or no? No, I cannot load up a web page. Anyway, while the internet is dying, there's a very... Oh man, the game seems so interesting too. We have Archons being established, we have Keepers being established. There are more Sarlaccs being spawned instead of Mechazors. And Basilico has the luxury of using a Sundrop Elixir on their Spellbinder as well. They have quite the fearsome board. They have center stage. I like that Good has managed to keep the Sunriser alive for a while. Once this match does wrap up, I will attempt to do another reset here. Actually, I might make a very angry early morning phone call, but I don't think anyone's going to answer at 5:40 in the morning. Basilico is being surrounded by a precarious army of various things. Good staying away from the 6 damage Archon. Good's been nice and comfortable just resting in the bottom left corner there. Are we connected again? Are we stabilizing a little bit? No, we're still dropping frames. I don't understand how this works. Apparently I'm reaching 24,000 kilobyte per second speed, so we are overloading Twitch. Man, 24,000 bitrate. Could you imagine the extreme pixel fidelity that I would be producing? If anyone had sent messages in the past like 5 minutes while my internet has been dying again, I just reconnected to chat now, so I probably missed a bunch of stuff. And it's weird because the bot didn't say it went down. It's like we didn't actually go down. Anyway, Martyr on the Shadow Dancer is a huge deal. That was a big gain for Basilica, and I think they replaced for that one, right? We're bringing the Martyrdom back to get rid of the threat of the Sunriser. And with the Archons managing to stay alive while helping to clear, the next turn is going to be pretty devastating when Duelyst brings them both back. Good is currently at 60% Mechazor completion. They're gonna need another Mechazor if they want to finish this. And that is a good start for getting another Mechazor. Deja Vu Engineer, so they're at 80% mech completion. I'd say it's a good thing they did not clear this other Archon, as well, it doesn't matter. Duelyst can pick it up anyway, right? They couldn't hide their minions from being in range of the Archon. There's the big orange chicken. Very aggressive spawn. Suddenly there's an Archon behind you. Or under you. Could double block if you really fear it. Now, Good has no answers for the Duelyst itself. Okay, since he had another Sarlacc in hand, he may as well start chipping away at one of them. there's the Mechazor. They did hit 100%. With the sword dying, yeah. Protecting Mechazor as best as they can, but they can't fully protect it. It might have been a good idea to clear the Alcuin in the top right corner, put Mechazor in the top right corner, and then surround it with your summons. But I can understand wanting to surround yourself so you avoid taking an extreme amount of damage, potentially. Holy Immolation's probably on the mind. Zerael Holy Immo is a very real thing. If the Zerael kills the Cannon of Mechazor, you can Martyrdom the Cannon of Mechazor, so Zerael can go... You can have Archon go there, hit for 6, Immo, that's 10. You can hit for 6 more on the bottom one, and then for 9. This is lethal. You only have to Martyr the Cannon of Mechazor, right here. And then Archon goes in first, Zerael flies over here, where the helm is, and this one goes up. The only way it's not lethal is if Sarlacc spawns in one of these spots to block. Basilica doesn't see it necessarily though. They're looking to move. They're bringing the chicken in on the top, and they're attacking the Mechazor itself, so they do not see the lethal. This is okay because they can just bring everything back to life and look for lethal next turn. They roped! No! Basilica roped! They roped as hard as my internet is roping at the moment. This is fucking I have to reload the stream. It's still on red. It's ridiculous. DFS. And a second DFS. I don't know what we're summoning, but it's gonna have a big discount. The Deja Vu Engineer. For free. So Good went from having lethal to being in a potentially dire situation. A lot of Sarlaccs are kind of out of range, which is good, but they lost the opportunity to bring back some of their things that died because they skipped last turn. And we're going with a Dynasty standard play. Could play Healing Mystic above the Archon, and then Holy Immo the Mystic. Just so you get 4 damage on your opponent's face. This doesn't overly matter. Looks like we're playing a little conservatively, holding Immo. No, maybe? Alright, spending the Immo, we want the 4/4 body. Could have held on the Immo for a turn in case you need it on the next. And then the Healing Mystic is positioned on the right side just to try and keep Lilith from walking away to the right. But of course, there's enough Sarlaccs in range to stop that from happening. And there's another Sarlacc coming down. The big old Sarlacc army here. There's Lightbender in hand for Basilico. 5 cards left in deck. I don't know if you go digging. Probably want to save Duelyst for when your Archon is finally destroyed. With the Shroud, you can dispel 4 of the Sarlaccs. It's not a bad trade offer. Second Holy Immolation. 2 white